Nosferatu is an evil name suggesting the red letters of hell. The sinister pieces of it like fair and eratu and nos have a red and heinous quality like the picture itself, which throbs with gloom. A masterpiece of nightmare horror photographed fantastically well in the old, grainy tones of brown and black and white. It's not so much that the woods are misty, but that they are bright, shining Bavarian woods in the morning as the young jerk hero hurries in a Transylvanian coach to the castle of the Count. Though the woods be bright, you feel evil lurking behind every tree. You just know the inner sides of dead trees among the shining living pines have bats hanging upside down in torpid, sated sleep. There's a castle right ahead. The hero just had a drink in a Transylvanian tavern, and it would be my opinion to suggest don't drink too deep in Transylvanian taverns. The maids in the inn are as completely innocent as Nosferatu is completely evil. The horses drawing the coach cavort. The youth stretches in the daytime woods, glad. But the little traveled road. The castle coach transfers him at Charlie Chaplin speed to the hungry cardinal of vampires. The horses are hooded. They know that vampire bats will clamp against their withers by nightfall. They rush hysterically through a milky, dimming forest of mountain dusk. You suddenly see the castle with bats like flies round the parapet. The kid rushes out, looking for to go find his gory loss. In a strange wool cap, a thin, hawk-nosed man opens the big oaken door. He announces his servants are all gone. The audience realizes this is Count Nosferatu himself. Ugh! The castle has tile floors. Somehow there's more evil in those tile floors than in the dripping dust of later Bela Lugosi castle, where women with spiders on their shoulders dragged dead muslin gowns across the stone. They are the tile floors of a Byzantine, Alexandrian, Transylvanian throat ogre. The Count Nosferatu has the long hook nose of a javelin vampire bat, the large eyes of the rhinolophidae vampire bat, long horsey mouth looking like it's full of W-shaped cusps with mugly pectinated teeth and molars and incisors like Desmondonti vampire bats with a front tooth missing, the better to suck the blood, maybe with the long brush-tipped tongue of the sanguisuga, so sanguine. He looks in his hunched swift walk like he probably also has his intestinal tract specifically modified in accordance with his nocturnal habits. The general horrid hair-lipped look of the noctilio, small guillotines in his mouth, the exceeding thinness of his gullet. His hands are like the enormous claws of the leporinus bat and keep growing longer and longer fingernails throughout the picture. Meanwhile, the kid rushes around enjoying the scenery, little dusty paths of the castle by day, but by twilight, the Count plunges to sign his deeds with that thirsty eagerness of the vampire. The kid escapes over the wall just in time. The scene shifts to Dr. Van Helsing in sunny classroom Germany, nevertheless photographed as dark as wolfbane or the claws that eat a fly. Then it goes to a gorgeously filmed dune where women's Victorian dresses flutter in the fresh sea wind. Then finally the haunted ship sails down the navigable canal or river and out to sea. Aboard is the Count in pursuit of his boy. When they open his coffin, a dozen rats plop out of the dirt and slink and bite the seaman on the ankles. How they ever filmed this, I'll never know. Great big rats. The whole scene on the ship testifies to the grandeur of the horror of Coleridge's Ancient Mariner. Of itself, the schooner glides into the port of Bremen with all the crew dead. The sucked-out captain is tied to his wheel. A disciple of the Count, imprisoned in a Bremen cell, sees the schooner glide right by like a ghost and says, "The master is here!" Down cobbles, deserted at dusk suddenly, like an insane delivery boy, here comes Count Nosferatu, carrying his own coffin of burial earth under his arm. He goes straight to establish residence in an eerie, awful warehouse or armory, which made me think, I shall never go to Bremen if they have things like that. Armories with empty windows. Ow! The old Bremen lamplighter is aware of the foolish hallucinations of Bremen folk, but he also looks scared as he lights the evening lamp. Naturally, as the next day processions carry the coffin victims of the vampire down the gloomy street, people close their shutters. There is real evil swarming all over the screen by now. Nosferatu looks worse and worse by now. His teeth are stained. His fingernails are like rats' tails. His eyes are on fire. He stares from his warehouse window like someone in an old dream. He rises from his coffin at eve like a plank. His disciple, who escapes from the prison, looks like Mr. Pickwick on a rampage in a chase that has everybody breathing furiously. A masterpiece of breathing, ends in a field with torches. At night, by moonlight, there he is, the great lover, staring across that awful plaza or canal into the heroine's window and into her eye. She waits for him. She wants to save the hero and has read in the Book of Vampires that if a victim stays with the vampire till cocks crow, he will be destroyed. He comes to her swiftly with that awful quick-footed walk, fingernails dripping. The shadow of the hand crawls like ink across her snowy bedspreads. The last scene shows him kneeling at her bedside, kissing into her neck in a horribly perverted love scene, unequaled for its pathetic, sudden revelation of the vampire's essential helplessness. The sun comes up. You see its rays light the top of his warehouse. The cock crows. He can't get away. He vanishes in a puff of smoke like the agony of the West. Right there on the floor as the puffing hero arrives, too late to save his love. The creator of this picture, F.W. Murnau, may have drawn a lot of information from the great vampire dissertations of Ranft and Calmet, written in the 18th century. Vampire is a word of Serbian origin, vampir, meaning blood-sucking ghosts. They were supposed to be the souls of dead wizards and witches and suicides and victims of homicides and the banished, those banished from the family or church. But vampires were also thought to be the souls of ordinary living people which leave the body in sleep and come upon other sleepers in the form of down fluff. So don't sleep in your duck-down sleep bag in Transylvania, or even in California, they say. Actually, don't worry. Scientifically speaking, the only blood-sucking bats in the world are located in South America, from Oaxaca on down.
Oh, Harpo, ¿cuándo demostraste como un ángel por última vez? ¿Cuándo tocaste la gris arpa de oro? ¿Cuándo robaste la vajilla de plata y rociaste de insectos a los invitados? ¿Cuándo encontró lluvia tu hermano en su soleado patio? ¿Cuándo pescaste a tu última rubia por el césped de la millonaria con un cebo enganchado en la caña saliendo de tu bicicleta? ¿O cuándo empolvaste por fin tu blanca cara de harina con la tapa de un barril de pescado? Harpo, ¿quién era aquel león que vi contigo? ¿Cómo conseguiste invitar al enano y a Conca el gigante? Harpo, en tu reciente aparición en un club de Nueva Orleans, ¿eras ya viejo? ¿Todavía alborotas con tu bocina en el bastón de tu cinturón dorado? ¿Todavía salen de tus bolsillos otros harpos o atornillas nuevas muñecas? ¿Fue tu voto de silencio un arpa india?
I'm riding along with Tristessa in the cab, drunk, with big bottle of Juarez bourbon whiskey in the till bag, railroad loot bag they'd accused me of holding in railroad 1952. Here I am in Mexico City, rainy Saturday night, mysteries, old dream side streets with no names reeling in the little streets where I'd walked through crowds of gloomy hobo Indians wrapped in tragic shawls enough to make you cry, and you thought you saw knives flashing beneath the folds. Lugubrious dreams as tragic as the one of old railroad night, where my father sits big of thighs in smoking car of night, outsides a brakeman with red light and white light, lumbering in the sad, vast mist tracts of life. But now I'm up on that vegetable plateau, Mexico, the moon of Seatley Pole. A few nights earlier, I'd stumbled to on the sleepy roof on the way to the ancient dripping stone toilet. Tristessa is high, beautiful as ever, going home gaily to go to bed and enjoy her morphine. Poor Tristessa is swaying there, explaining all her troubles, how she hasn't got enough money. She's sick. She'll be sick in the morning, and in the look of her eye, I caught perhaps the gesture of a shadow of acceptance of the idea of me as a lover. Only time I ever saw Tristessa cry was when she was junk sick on the edge of Old Bull's bed, like a woman in the back pew of a church in daily novena. She dabs at her eyes. She points to the sky again. If my friend don't pay me back, looking at me straight, my Lord, pay me back more. And I can feel the spirit enter the room as she stands, waiting with her fingers pointed up on her spread legs, confidently for her Lord to pay her back. So I give everything I have to my friend, and if he don't pay me back, she shrugs, my Lord pay me back, standing alert again, more. And as the spirit swims around the room, I can tell the effective, mournful horror of it. Her reward is so thin. Now I see radiating from the crown of her head innumerable hands that have come from all 10 quarters of the universe to bless her and pronounce her Bodhisat for saying and knowing that so well.
Del templo un día, llorona cuando al pasar yo te vi. Salías del templo un día, llorona cuando al pasar yo te vi. Hermoso pibil llevabas, llorona, que la y te creí.
Moi, je trouve que le plus grand écrivain du monde, c'est Louis-Ferdinand Céline. Que son vrai nom, c'est Détouche. Il est un docteur Détouche. Parce que il a écrit des grands comment on appelle ça?
Épopée. Épopée.
Hein?
Épopée.
Des grands épopées?
C'est ça.
Pou. De la vie moderne. Mieux que tous les autres. Quand il était sur un bateau qui s'en allait à l'Afrique, il était un passenger, mais le monde ne l'aimait pas. Les femmes, ils disaient, oh, cet homme-là, ce docteur-là, il est fou, hein? Mais un soir, quand les hommes étaient prêts pour frapper le pauvre docteur de toute sa gueule, il a poigné la main du premier gars et il a dit « Vive la France !» Et après ça, il est descendu sur le bord du bateau avec des nègres sur un bateau, un petit bateau. Boum, Afrique. Voyage au bout de la nuit. Et aussi, il a écrit Mort à crédit, qui appelle ici Death on the Installment Plan. He wrote a book called Death on the Installment Plan. Ça, c'est beau. Ça, c'est le plus grand.